All right, another episode of the Better Version podcast. You know, other dudes can't be here because they light skinnedness it got in the way of their emotions to say, hey, now we still gonna get this done. But it's very difficult to run a podcast and to keep, you know, the people that you want to do this podcast with
on the same page.
Yeah, like it might not be something or as serious in the beginning, but if you could keep this consistency, that's one of the difficult steps is getting people to just, yo, I'm gonna pull up for this.
Just commit to it.
Yeah, because it does take a toll on people.
Yeah.
For doing this. But we go into like episode 6 and want to chop down to what's your thoughts on the whole green pill movement?
We should probably start with what that actually means. A lot of people don't know what that is. Okay. So I guess it's like as in green card.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of guys there are like there's a huge resurgence of the so-called expat or sexpat community,
mm-hmm.
where guys are going overseas.
Yeah, and most of the time it's guys who are not interested in they might be fed up with the dating market in America, so that they probably want to go over to a different country and, you know, find different types of women. Maybe there's better availability, more feminine women, as for commentary for a lot of people say, you know, there's no dating coaches in these countries, so it's not it shouldn't be as bad as over here where you need a dating coach. And I'm like, all right, they got some points to it, but not to just seek out you know, maybe seek out a wife and a potential person that you can be together with, that is in a different country. So that's kind of like the sum of the green pill movement. It's a lot of dudes. There seems to be like there's bashing on both sides, whether you're for it or against it.
Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, like I could see. For me personally, I don't really know if it's for me. Like I might be like one of those rare people where it's just like, for me. But I can 100% totally understand why a guy would do that. Because it's like it's just a common sense decision. You deal like that was a really enlightening video where he was like any video where they're interviewing just like Western women, American women, especially on the streets. It's like so you can just see the difference. You know, having seen like this is why I'm like I'm enjoying like this new content that's coming out, because it's like you can see the difference. It's night and day. Like,
see, that's the difficult part for me is I consider myself a smart person.
Right.
I'm never stopping in the street to talk to nobody in front of a camera for some shit. So I think about the people who actually do stop for people like that. It's like, you know, if you got, you know, if you got things to do and you I don't want to say you're not a slouch on what you got to do in life. You're not really going to go and do that. You're not going to stop and start answering questions for someone's YouTube or TikTok. Like,
enough people do it that
enough people.
It's a good.
But it seems to be a lot of most of the time, a lot of people who's gonna be stupid. Like you getting stupid answers from people, you know. But
is it people or is it women?
Like, it's people, cause I've seen conversations of dudes in the street talking. Also,
it seems like there's a much higher percentage of guys who are speaking sense, as opposed to like women. If I'm totally honest.
See, I'm talking specifically about just in general of people stopping to talk to people in front of a camera in the streets and shit like
so
that.
You think the kind of person that would do that is kind of like inherently dumb or something?
Not really inherently dumb, but more
likely,
more along the lines of, yeah, you ain't got shit to do. You got time to waste right now. About
I mean, it was probably like a Sunday or something. It was at the mall. One person looked like they just finished a workout. It's like, why not? It was only a few minutes.
Alec Bowen in his movie said, always be closing. they always be closing. Yeah, it was a movie about being a salesman, and it's serious. Like, yo, you gotta be on top of your shit. You got shit to get done, and if you got time to
that's funny. I was just thinking about that because
it reminds me of people who fill out surveys. Like, I never want to fill out no fucking
sign
survey.
A petition or
yeah,
I'm like that too. It's kind of like, you know, Curb Your Enthusiasm, like the stop. You remember the stop and chat thing?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that, bro. I was like, on the way here, I'm like, please don't let me run into somebody I know. Like, I don't want to. I'm not a stop and chat person. Like, I'm just trying to get from A to B. I'm just trying to go.
Facts.
I'm just trying to do what I'm doing.
So now it just makes me think of, yo, these people who stop in the street. Am I really gonna get some like intelligence from this conversation of whatever their opinion is? I highly doubt it. But as you can see, you've watched some of the videos on Austin, right? He was interviewing some basically the Western women in the street of America. I mean, well, United States, to be specific, because America's South and North. People keep forgetting that everything is America, really.
True.
But and they were given like unreasonable expectations on things, right?
It was like, for me, it was largely the fact that they, like, the first two chicks were like mid, and
okay. When you say mid, you mean like average chicks,
or
right?
below.
Average or below. Okay.
And it's just like the body language was like, that was like a big part of it for me. Like, you know, they had their arms crossed and they were really standoffish.
Defensive?
Yeah, like it's like, well, I think like I was kind of thinking like, you know, women are prone to seek security more than men. So like just the fact that we live in this westernized world where we're so safe and comfortable, it seems like that has made us really weak as just a population, where it's like and then you add in you know, the lockdowns and all that stuff, the isolation, and it's just like we're just a weak population of people. We are afraid of each other, largely. I mean, not me because I'm black, but it's like people are afraid of me, and I'm like, I feel like that you know, that baseline level of fear that people have for black men. It's like I'm getting that more, and I'm like, yo, I'm like the least intimidating black person on earth, and I'm still getting this shit. I'm like, people are afraid. Like,
I mean, hey, you know, it's everybody's racist at some time of the day. You ever heard that? like by 2 a.m, everybody's racist. Everybody it thinks anybody in the dark is around the corner is gonna be a suspect of anything bad. But you know, that's
broad daylight too. You know, but it's just it's not as bad in broad daylight, of course. But,
exactly. I mean, it's unreasonable in broad daylight, but you know, shit happens in broad daylight. But that's not excusing shit for people to be racist anyway. But to go back to that video that we was checking out on defensiveness, their demeanor might portray that because, you know, that's just who they are. But like, I could think of like, say, go for if those women were actually bank tellers, right? They wouldn't get that job with that type of attitude.
I think you're wrong about that. Because you know what? It's like when you think about like HR and like how many women are in hiring positions these days. And it's like, I've seen this firsthand. I've seen where it's like women who have that sort of like scaredy cat sort of mentality. They'll get into hiring positions a lot of the time. No,
I wouldn't say they wouldn't get into those hiring positions, but I'm talking about like front desk bank teller. The way you treat my customers is a reflection of my business. I can't have this type of mannerism at my front desk. So
some people just don't care. They're just like,
I mean,
especially if they work for like a big company or the government or something.
If we're talking about like a smaller
thing,
Caribbean restaurant, yeah, they'll be bad at the front counter. They'll be with the mean face.
Yeah, the mean Jamaican. There was a meme with the Jamaican lady.
Yeah.
The Jamaican
That's
lady.
how you know the food is good, because the mean of the lady. But but for like a corporation like a bank, No, they're not. They're not letting that slide in front. You better not act like that. Even if you get hired, like I know some chicks who is bank tellers, and they hood as shit. But when they get to that front desk, they are polite, courteous, and pleasant to be around.
That makes me think of Kevin Samuels. You know, why don't you? Black men and black women would have absolutely no problems if they had the same respect for us that they do for that Caucasian job. Absolutely no problems. But you see, this is one of the issues with the F word is that so much. This is something I know, and I do sympathize with women on this because it's like so all of their like nurturing and feminine energy and all that shit is being completely absorbed by like these BS jobs that they have now. So it's like
it's taken away from them that they're giving out too much.
They're using that stuff on like their job, and then by the time they get home, they don't have any left to give. So it's like it's a messed up situation all around to me.
So I mean, hey, the price of living in United States is it's high, and it's difficult in certain states, even more difficult. So, you know, if we switch over to like different states that are less demanding, I guess
your passport.
Yeah, your passport. You could probably afford to live here. I mean, you could probably afford to live, you know, in a better place.
I like seeing those videos, man, because I've never really traveled like that. So I'm like, it's good to see like how shit is actually working.
Oh, I should have been calling you live when I'm on vacation. Then I would have been showing you that stuff. But to that standpoint, like I think about, there's a lot of things that go into this whole green pill movement, right?
Yeah.
Like one basis, right? Conspiracy theory on it is like, all right, damn, this, you know, people could be agents and they don't even know they're agents, but this could contribute to depopulation in United States if you're chanting everybody, hey, go overseas to go find a wife, don't even date.
I'm always suspicious of like what the things that get popular and like how suddenly, and I'm just like, okay, what's like who benefits from this? Like so many men, black men especially, just leaving en masse. And I heard one conspiracy theory in particular where it's like they're trying to get good people to leave the country so they don't have to like, so when they bring the concentration camps, they don't have any resistance. It's just like,
oh wow,
it's just like whack people left.
All right, see, and it's all different shit. But like, I don't know, I don't tend to have a belief on like the conspiracy I just told you about, the whole depopulation. That's not something I believe. That's just something that I thought of, and I'm like, all right, that's just a possibility. I don't know if that's correct or not. I don't want to think that it is correct, but I just think about all the different effects of that movement. Now, yeah, you can have a lot of positive things going on with that whole movement of, you know, guys finding a person that they could actually marry and also kind enjoy.
It seems like it could also be like erasure in a way, because it's like,
what's erasure?
So I mean, I'm kind of like speaking like in a broad sense, but when I say that, I mean like ethnically. So you have a large influx of men, black men in particular, a lot of white men doing the same thing, and it's like we find our women that are most local to us, that look like us the most, to be so impossible to deal with that we're going to fly to some other country. We're going to invest all this time and money. We're going to learn a new language. And it's like our kids are probably not, if we have them in another country with a different woman of a different culture, they're not going to look like us. It's going to be a different ethnicity that we're basically creating.
Oh, okay. I get you. See, that is another effect to it, but I don't think we're gonna come up with a new ethnicity. The shit is, we've mixed already, every which way. Like everybody's mixed.
Could always mix more.
Yeah,
it's kind of like an endless ebb and flow, I guess.
Oh, you know what? That could push more for epidemic on this whole transracial thing.
I guess. I was just thinking about that too. Like, Like, damn, for all the people who, for whatever reason, they're skeptical.
I don't know if that's even a real term either. This whole trans.
It kind of is these days.
I mean, people say it, but I don't know if this is even in the dictionary.
It's not something that's.
I don't want to be quoted like I'm stating like that's a fact. I don't know that to be a fact.
But yeah, I kind of think about like, okay, there's some people who think that, you know, they don't really believe that black people have it like a little or a lot harder. So I'm like, okay, by all means, become transracial and find out. You know, this is not a difficult experiment to do.
No, people do.
It's happened. Yeah,
people know what it is. As you've seen the experiment done with, I forgot the older white woman who's I first seen her on Channel 13, the one with the glasses who talks to like a group of students, of white students, and asks them if they would like to be treated as black people are treated. Right. And right. She's shown the example that people know what's going on.
I don't know why people like to cap about it. Like, it's all about convenience. Like, you have to create the illusion. Like, they gotta pull the veil over your eyes type shit.
Yeah, so
but depopulation.
Yeah, it is a possibility, but then, you know,
it's like, why not? If you're in the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, it's like, why not? That's kind of how I think about it.
Well, I don't know about the 1% of the 1%, and what they want, and if they want depopulation, will be the point for them to.
Like everything is hinting in that, hinting towards that, anyways. You know, and it's like, what would be the point? Well, the point would be more money and control, because it's easier to control a smaller population.
Okay, so the main basis is just to make sure you're able to control people.
Yeah, and it's also like, okay, well, we have so much technology these days, and the whole lockdown thing was kind of a test of like, okay, how. We don't need all these people. Most of these jobs are nonsense. They're not really vital to the infrastructure of society.
Wait, all right, hold on. Let's take it back, because I've heard that all the time. The lockdown was basically a test. If they know, like, if they have things planned out, do you really need to test out a lockdown?
Yeah, because you never know what's gonna happen. Like, even as much as they plan and predict I don't think you really.
I watch enough movies to say, hey, the good will always prevail. I guess, you know, I want to believe in that dream. So, just like the
or is it that the winners decide who's good, what's good?
Because
like, if you look at World War II, the good guys won, supposedly, technically. So, yeah. You know, so it's like like they say, history is written by the victors.
Yeah,
and
true.
The victors are always going to write the story so that they're the good guys.
Yeah, so we don't know which way it's gonna go, but hey, the more people talk about this, the more I see nothing being done or anything changing or anything being different. Everything seems to still go down that path of things going bad. So what's the point of even discussing it? Like I think about the Matrix, right? Like how much Tate loves to say the Matrix, this and that, and after, in what part of his conversation I was just watching recently, he was talking, it was like, yeah, I know, I'm not trying to go to war with people who run this world. No, I'm not dumb. And it was like, yo, damn, you mentioned all this Matrix shit, and it's a lot of people, you know, who's always talking about it, and yeah, you could be a conspiracy theory, but at the end of the day, is it getting you any progress? Is it going forward with anything? No, it's not changing nothing. It's not doing anything, because there's no action behind it, and your life is still going the same route that you've been going for before you knew this shit.
Right. So it's like, I kind of look at it as like, everything is just, it's an endless cycle. Everything's integrated. It's an endless cycle. You know, the only thing we learn from history is that we don't learn from history. Yeah. So it's like, we just keep repeating the same cycles over and over. But here's the thing, like, eventually, and this kind of goes into like the end of history theories, quote unquote, where it's like, eventually, assuming humanity lives that long, eventually we're going to get to a point where it's like, it's either the end of history and everything's just going to stay exactly the same forever, or we're going to transcend. I think we're probably either going to die off, or we're going to transcend into a different kind of being. So
So here's the thing, right? If we
there's different stages.
if we could transcend into a different type of being,
We can.
that becomes, timeless, right?
Yeah.
In that part of becoming timeless, how come it isn't already now then?
How come it's not already what?
Now.
It could be, but it's just not us. Like this goes deep. It's some others.
Yeah, cause
some
I'm just
Star
going.
Trek shit.
Yeah, I'm just going into like
So-
theory wise of, all right, if something becomes infinity, why hasn't it become infinity already? And
I mean, the universe is infinite,
yeah,
seemingly.
yeah. So crazy theories that we go nowhere with.
So the idea, like the general idea, is like, okay, we are a very low level civilization. And this guy, this YouTube guy that I watch, I'll send it to you later. Like he kind of goes deep on this kind of stuff.
Is he a scientist?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh,
But-
okay. I mean, hey, anybody is qualified on the internet.
So
As long as they're on the internet.
all I know is that his arguments are compelling. That's all I know.
Okay.
So it's like,
I mean, it sounds logical and reasonable enough then.
yeah. So he has like and it's just a theory at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
like, there's different stages of civilization. We are a low level civilization. Hypothetically, theoretically, there are other civilizations out there that are much higher level than us, and we've either made a little bit of contact with them or none. And like the idea is that eventually we are going to get to a point where like there's criteria. So it's like right now we're on this planet, we're reliant on the resources of this planet, but we can transcend beyond that to the point where we can travel
Are you trying to tell me we could turn into we could turn Super Saiyan and start breathing in space like Frieza? Like
actually. And that's the thing about fiction. Like fiction will show you this stuff, but when you're looking at it, you're like, oh, this is just some nice. But it's like the whole idea is that, man. And I just saw a great video, a great breakdown of Star Trek that was talking about this. I kind of was just telling you about that with the whole like, oh, you can plant ideas in people's heads and they don't even know. They think they just arrived on that idea by themselves. But yeah, so eventually, intergalactic travel, like Star Wars and all that stuff. But then eventually, like, there's stages and it just gets more and more crazy. And eventually it's like to a point where we're not even physical beings anymore. And that makes us able to travel, like, be like through space-time continuum. Because we're not limited by our physical bodies anymore. So like it gets really deep. And once we get to that point, then we can create a new species that's kind of like us right now. And then that species is going to be like our slaves, essentially. And they won't even realize it.
So, okay. and we don't know that we've already done it and we are our slaves already?
Yeah, but it's possible that there's like multiple levels, So it's like, you could say, okay, maybe
because this reminds me of like Westworld, where they was building the robots. The robots are starting to
yeah,
they're integrated with rich people come to the theme park and do whatever against the robots, but the robots look humanoid. And then after you find out that the robots, spoiler alert, the robots are trying to save the world but the world is actually a simulation itself. So the people invented robots, but the people are a simulation inside of a computer. And they're trying to break out of the computer's world, which is kind of crazy. Of like, how can you even? How can like when Neo visits? I forgot the guy who's dressed like Colonel Sanders in the TV room in the Matrix. The third one.
I forgot his name. Architect or something?
Not the architect. Yeah, I think that's the architect, right? But he says, yo, we've been over this 6 times already. Like, this is the 6th time you've done. I've done, and I'm like, yo, damn. So you've recreated the world multiple times. The other times never mattered, but just going into Where was I going with the creation thing? Damn, I just forgot what. Oh yeah, with the robots in the simulation, right? So he's in Neo's in the Matrix, and he's like, yo, this is the 6th time you've tried to do this, right? And it's all right. You're trying to either save the world or save yourself or whatever, but you've done this already, right? Now, for you to break out of this, even though I've created this shit, in a sense, the architect is basically a god to the people, but it's not like the architect will ever build you up that you can become a god yourself and escape from that. So just like just like in Westworld, where they're talking about the people, all the humans are in a simulation, and they realize, hey, this is a computer simulation. Let's try to break out of it. There's no possibility of you breaking out of it because it's a computer simulation. There's no you reaching the actual source.
So let's say this is a simulation. It's just a matter of how you define simulation. So let's say there is a way to break. I think there is a way to break out, but at the very least,
in the movie Inception, their way of getting out of the dream was you sitting on the chair and your chair falling back, right? That was their way of claiming, oh, that little scared of Rush is so. The only way I see you escaping this world is death.
Yeah, Jesus, you just opened another can of worms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, oh shit, nah, that's your only way.
There are theories by scientists, by the way, respected scientists, since you care about that.
I'm good on them theories, theories, though.
You ever heard about how we release DMT when we die? Like,
no.
We release a copious amount of DMT when we die. So, you just showed me the interview with the Navy SEAL talking about DMT and like how amazing it is.
Yeah.
But anyways, so there are respected scientists, allegedly, who believe that
that's how you reach God.
Joe
Rogan was saying that shit too.
So when our brains are kind of like radios, where it's just a receiver. It's just a receiver for consciousness and our soul essentially. So when we quote unquote die, our physical body dies, the consciousness doesn't die. It just kind of transfers somewhere else. Some people say to a different planet, a different galaxy, different being, or what have you. So I don't know what you made me think about, but I was going to talk about something else. I forgot.
I forgot. We went way left when we was talking about this whole green pill movement.
Yeah.
But to get back to that.
So the way that you escape the Matrix is there are ways. Like they're trying to figure this out. And they're saying like technology. So we kind of talked about on one podcast at some point about how like they're using technology to, and the game Cyberpunk kind of goes into this where it's like technology can make you quote unquote immortal, and it can allow technology kind of allows you to exist on another plane of existence which we created. So in that sense, we are becoming like.
But you initially never experienced that. That's only just a part of your form. That's because we think about it as, hey, either your destiny's already written or you're creating your destiny, which is, people like to argue that. I don't know which one is true, but for the most part, if we're going into saying your destiny's already written, even if you were to somewhat use technology that you can make an AI version of you, right? That's not you, because it's still going to be missing something from your original self, so you could never actually live forever.
Yeah, but they are trying.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I mean, good luck, but...
And who's to say, this is, again, it can always get more advanced.
Yeah.
So we could actually get to a point where we can, if the technology develops enough, where we can actually take the conscious, which we were talking about, or the quote unquote soul or whatever, and extract it from the body somehow.
I mean, recreating the soul is for the most part, you know,
and you,
I don't know if there's any proof of a soul to begin with. I'm just told we have a soul.
it's just a conscious, like our consciousness. So
Yeah.
like the idea is like that you can take the metaphysical side of you, because like we have brains and all that stuff, but again, you could argue that's just a receiver for something.
Yeah.
So if you can just take that metaphysical thing or whatever it is and put it into something, you know, like again, movies and fiction has depicted this where people can like Freaky Friday or some shit where like they swap bodies.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
So
Oh,
technology
damn, there's
can
tons of
probably-
movies on that where I think Ryan Reynolds even did a movie where he was a rich billionaire and he wanted to transfer his consciousness into a young body, which was his body, and then he'll live on. And yeah, I know they're definitely trying to do that. They definitely want to see if they could jump from body to body, but I don't see that happening. It's not meant to happen.
Possibly.
But as we went through some astronomical shit, going far left again. We was talking about the green pill movement.
Yeah, but hey, is the green pill? You can see how the green pill would transfer into that, because it's like, all right, the green pill is all about mobility.
Yeah,
It's all about, you know, making the most of what you have, and you know,
making it looks like it's a good place for hope for a lot of men who is
corny.
I'm not gonna call them corny. I'm
You already did, so I was like, all right.
Nah, I never called them corny on
Not on the podcast.
not on the podcast. Nah, I didn't call them corny. But it looks like, you know, because there's other men who I would say is not corny who could complain about the same situations that these dudes in the green pill would complain about, and
I don't think AH is corny. I just think he's like tired of the bullshit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's not that the green pill movement is just corny dudes. Best believe, yeah, there's a lot of corny dudes in there, but there's regular dudes there too who's tired of things that is how
Right, they don't want to.
how the dating structure
It's like
is over here.
It seems like, again, I'm speaking as someone who's never actually done it, but it seems like, okay, you hear about it, how amazing things are overseas. You go there, you actually experience it, and it's like you don't want to come back here and deal with the jumping through hoops and like the games, and like you don't have the energy for that, you know, especially if you're still trying to become somebody in this world, aside from getting your needs met from women that you need.
I'll say from my experience, because I've done it, you could get bored of it very fast from doing just partying and having fun out there in all these overseas countries. So
Right.
it's not as simple as, you know,
Yeah,
how you gonna have entertainment long lasting? Like,
Yeah, I was
if you
thinking
can't conversate, like say you go to a country, one of these countries, whether it's South America or it's Africa or places in Europe. If you don't know the language and you can't just have a conversation with people, it's gonna get boring real quick. You can't just keep translating on your phone all day. So it's not sustainable and it's not gonna last. But the experience is great. Right. You're gonna have a great time leaving the country and experiencing these new places.
But life is not a vacation.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're trying to be there on a permanent level, you probably got to understand, like, okay, this is probably, this whole, like, the initial ecstasy of this experience is going to wear off after a while. You know, it seems like that. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying before about, like, it does kind of seem like again, pure speculation, but it does kind of seem like the economy is set up for American tourists or Western, whatever, come spend their money, have fun, whatever, but it's not set up so that you can really integrate into that society on a permanent level unless you put in like a lot of effort, you know?
I think any society, you'd have to put in that effort to actually integrate with it.
It depends.
All
depends
right,
on a lot of factors. Race is one of them.
yeah. But I think anybody can make. Well, I can't say anybody because you have to have somewhat the smarts to take initiative on certain things to actually curate a plan and make sure that plan forgoes itself.
Could just know the right people.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that
it's a
too.
matter of
That
just-
makes it even easier
networking.
knowing the right people. But if you don't know the right people, figure out a plan, make your plan, and try to do it, right? If your plan don't work, try to go and find out what was the problems with your plan, but at least get the experience of going out there. I would say put in the effort. Like learning a whole new language, put the effort to do that.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
probably not too hard. It's just a habit. Like you get into a routine, you maybe do like 1 hour or more a day.
Yeah,
It's
and
like that's not hard. It takes the willpower.
there's
that's
too
all.
many things that's easy for you to learn a language nowadays.
Right.
Like I myself have programs that I just listen to, and I start picking up the language.
Even
but
anime.
I mess it up.
Even watching anime, I've
Yeah.
learned like a lot of Japanese terms and stuff like that. You know, like
Yeah, I've never learned the language watching anime though.
Nani?
Baka, right?
Shikata go nai.
Damn, you sound like Street Fighter. Son.
Even got the accent right.
Yeah, in fact, it'd be like, yo, damn, that was a Kuma's voicing. I got it down pat. But that, and here's the thing, right? My mom, when she went to school, which was in a Caribbean country, you had to learn a second language. Her second language was English. Over here, they say you have to learn a second language, but you don't learn the language. You learn some of the basics, and then you forget.
Even a lot of like back.
You don't even learn the real basics.
Like back in the day, I want to say a lot of people who immigrated to America, they did because they had their community already, and they didn't even learn English. Like there's old people in this country to this day that don't speak a word of English.
I've worked with people who have been here longer than my mom. They've been here like 40 years, and they English is horrible. I mean, like, yo,
Because a lot of they didn't need it. It's just like, all right, you just go to where the people who look like you
they
live.
have to communicate with people in English, and it sounds horrible, but it's weird and it's messed up. But their laziness is just like everybody else's laziness, I would say. But learning that
Path of least resistance.
yeah, learning another language is just a plus in life, regardless.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I think it's one of those things where like if you do it, it kind of does work. It's like it works your brain. It's like exercise for the brain. I kind of remember hearing it's like, you know, people who speak 2 or more languages, like their brain is more, it has more plasticity or something.
Like you should living US, you should definitely try to learn at least Spanish. Like that is, you're gonna run into someone
Sooner than later.
who's gonna speak Spanish more than anything else here, because we have like a lot of Spanish people here, whether it's from Mexico or Puerto Rico is a territory of US, or Dominican Republic or whatever southern country under the US speak Spanish most of the time. Now they might not all speak the same type of Spanish, but if you speak in the general like, I think it's not specifically the Spain Spanish, but speaking the basic Spanish here, learning some of it, you'll be able to speak to someone who speaks Spanish here, and it's highly likely that you'll find someone who can speak Spanish. So that, I would say, if you're going to learn a language, you should learn Spanish.
I guess that's where other countries probably have sort of an advantage, because they speak, like in Europe, it's like standard in a lot of European countries for them to speak their language and then speak English, it seems. So
yeah,
so they already kind of have that.
Shit. My aunt in France, she speaks English. She took up English and all that. She's like, yeah, I have to, and plus she works at the airport, so she has to speak English,
right?
Because English is spoken throughout, no matter whether you're German, whether you're Polish, whether you're Irish or whatever. Everybody speaks English a little bit at least.
Right.
So you're good with knowing English, but you should know a different language. So I'm a maybe get into learning Spanish and French and Japanese one day, but my laziness has been kicking my ass for plenty of years. I'll take that initiative. But yeah, that movement right there.
Going back to the green pill.
Yeah, going back to the green pill. Even though I'm like, yo, it looks like it's reasonable. It doesn't look like a long-term thing for a lot of people. Like, you're gonna have very few people who's gonna manage, it looks like, to stay over there for a long period of time instead of, because there's so much different living situations that people are not used to. Just like your outlets, like
clothing.
No. like what you plug into the wall. Your outlets is different.
Things, right.
Your bathroom is different. Your showering is different. You know, your voltage to how much your phone can take is different.
I think those little things like that. That's something that it's only going to creep up on you after a prolonged stay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then eventually you're going to be like, damn, this is kind of annoying. Like, I want to go back to what I'm used to.
People are not thinking about that. Like,
all right.
I've stayed in when I was in Guadeloupe, right? Not Guadalupe. Guadeloupe is a small island. It's near Puerto Rico, right? It's a territory of France. They don't have their independence.
Yeah, I knew that part.
And just staying over there, the vibe over there is like, man, it's not what an American is used to. Like, just like, even that's why I said the outlets is different. Yo, even if I plug my iPhone, right? I could plug my iPhone in there. My iPhone will blow up eventually, I would say, because it charges so fast over there, because their voltage is so high. My phone's not used to it. I'm like, oh wait, damn, this is burning. Why is this so hot? Like, this is crazy. But that's the situation over there. The mosquitoes is mad annoying.
Oh man.
Oh, but you know, it's a different living area, in where, hey, most of the soda you drink there, it's gonna taste weird because they already cut they've cut the sugar in it.
Yeah,
because years ago they had like similar to what we had, and people were saying over there people were getting too fat. They were saying, hey, people are getting too fat, so they cut the sugar in all, like Sprite, Coke, whatever. All of that sugar got cut real low, so it tastes a little different. It still got the general
bullshit.
It tastes okay, but it's way healthier. As you can see.
I noticed that with the other countries. Like, you always hear about how the food is better. Like, one thing I heard is like there's so much salt and sugar in the food in America. Like, that's kind of one of the most consistent things that I've heard.
I didn't even know too long ago that there's a lot of sugar in rice. I didn't even know that
either.
But yeah, there's a lot of sugar in rice. So I'm like, yo, damn, this doesn't even taste. But it's there. But yeah, no, the food. I would say, hey, you can find good food anywhere. We have good food here. I know places to go. You just gotta spend that bag. But
I think it comes down to
if you wanna eat a regular, like, I guess a regular day-to-day meal that you would eat every day, food it might be nutritionally better. Most likely it is.
What it comes down to is, like, in the States we have options. I think that's probably what gets people here more than anything, is just like the abundance of options for literally everything. And it's like, probably when you go overseas, it's like, yeah, you got options, but especially when you're in these Caribbean countries, and like it's like the country is small in general, so it's like
they focus on maybe fish,
right?
Or they focus on they got chickens. In Trinidad, they KFC is legendary out there. Like I've seen people bring back KFC on the plane from Trinidad.
Wow,
I've had KFC from Trinidad before. Like that's how much talk it was about how great that was. Now, mind you, as a kid, I had KFC in Guadalupe when I was visiting, and tasted like regular KFC, nothing special. But Trinidad's
really?
Yeah, it was a lot of hype. It was a lot of hype. But
was it normal or
no? It was from what I can remember, and that's probably a decade ago. What I can remember, chicken was okay. It was okay. I didn't. You know what? It didn't affect me the same way as KFC over here. So anytime I ate KFC over here,
it kind of hurts.
Acid reflux.
Wow.
Yeah, but I didn't notice that until like later in life. I'm like, yo, damn, my throat was just burning. Like, damn, this tastes good, but damn, what? Ah, man, this is burning. And that KFC from Trinidad, nothing, and it tasted better.
Wow.
But yeah, so. The focus in that smaller island is, hey, we're curating our food,
because there's only so many in a smaller country. Is like there's only so many things that they're not
living that fast life like here, that they need high volumes of food, and their population is like growing. Where
a lot of these countries, they only have like one major export.
Yeah.
So,
but that's getting down to that green pill movement. It has its pros and its cons, and hopefully the pros is gonna outweigh all that.
Yeah, you just gotta be realistic, I think.
Would you ever consider moving to another country and
I think it's too late for me. I've been here too long, I think. I think maybe if I could get a little nest egg and retire somewhere, I'll probably retire in the Caribbean or something like that. But it's like I'm just I've been here long enough. If the bombs drop, whatever.
Shit!
I'll eat one.
Damn.
Go down with the ship.
Oh man, so no option of man, damn, Connie. I would have thought you would have had some consideration of like, you don't have to deal with situations here if it doesn't deem fit for you. Of like, it's not positive over here, so you might as well attempt to look for somewhere else that is positive. But
I think I'm tired. I think that's kind of what it comes down to. Like, I've lived in enough.
You can't be tired.
I've lived in enough places domestically, internationally, but where I'm just like, just let me lay.
No, you can't get tired. You can't get tired, man. You can't. As a man in America, you always have to have your. Maybe you need to start pumping some weights.
If I need to move, then I'm ready to do that. I'm always ready to do that. But it's never like, the funny thing is, like, I always wanted to just stay wherever the hell I am.
I feel you.
But I always it was always circumstance that made me move. And
you can't lay down, bro. You can't lay down, because then you'll become a sheep. I see it as that. If you lay down and you get lazy, you become a sheep. And that's when you become your weakest.
Yeah, that's why I want another burger. It's like, I already feel it. Like, I had the one freaking burger, and I'm like, damn, I want another one.
Yes, you see what those bodybuilders do? They go get themselves a triple burger from the burger spot. They don't get that one burger. Yeah, you're not eating enough, Kwani. You gotta get your weight up, bro. You gotta get your weight up. Nah,
it's like you can see. It's like every time I get out, they try to pull me back in. It's like damn. You can see how it that's all it takes. It just takes one burger for me to be like, damn. I see why these people are so fat. It's like, damn.
Oh man, it's so many. There's a lot of aspects to why people are so fat. Whether people are not taking time out to see what's nutritious and what their body really needs. And like for myself, I know how to think about, hey, why am I so greedy? Yeah, I'm eating this. This tastes great, but I don't need this much food. I've already eaten enough, but I don't want to stop because it tastes so good. I've dealt with that for mad years. I've been greedy for mad years, and now me losing weight, I'm like, I control my urges. Like, oh man, I want to eat more of this. But no, I know that this is gonna be the cause of my demise, and my health is gonna get worse.
Yeah, you gotta
doing that shit.
You gotta find other outlets.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of what it comes down to with really any addiction, even food. Like if it's food, whatever, you just gotta find something to replace it.
You think food is addictive?
Absolutely, like sugar, if nothing else.
Oh yeah,
you know, calories. So it's a secret addiction because it's like it's kind of like alcohol, where it's one of those things where it's like it's pretty much accepted. Like, yeah, you gotta eat. Yeah, you know, everybody drinks on the weekends, right? So
yeah.
It's like it's normalized, but it's still some addictive stuff that can really mess your stuff up.
Yeah, once it's normalized, it really is easy for you to just continue the shit.
And again, who benefits?
Yeah.
Who benefits from a more overweight population that's drinking their lives away?
The sugar companies. Like everything that has sugar in it, whether alcohol has sugar or whether candy has sugar, or like looking at those bodybuilders who was their cheat days, they might after a show, their cheat meal might be a whole box of Oreos or a whole box of like snack cakes or whatever. I'm like, yo, damn, I don't even know any of this stuff to taste good. Like, and personally, I could eat probably 3 Oreos and I'd be like, all right, that's enough. Like, this is not that delicious, but whatever. You can eat a whole box, man. Like,
yeah.
But they know they've done the sacrifice for it, that they've earned it, that they're now not to say that their health is in the best condition, because I don't know if bodybuilding, your health is in the best condition, even though what you're doing to your body is extreme, but they are somewhat breaking down eating to a science, so they are paying attention to their body and their health very thoroughly. So I mean, minus the taking the drugs, if they have to take drugs to get to a certain shape,
right?
They look like they're taking care of their health, but the way they strategize on eating, I'm like, oh no, this is a good way to do it. Like, you should strategize and plan out all your meals and what meals you can intake and what they do for you. That you can, all right, I'm gonna eat this certain amount every day, and you don't even have to be on this bodybuilding shit. You could just be on I'm eating certain amounts of food and which food I need to eat and what it's gonna do for me, so I don't be overweight or I just be at my exact weight, maintaining weight. You know, finding out the calories and all this nutrition and shit. So there's ways to break this shit down that people aren't doing. So
it's just effort. Like,
yeah, that effort is what makes the difference. Effort makes a difference in everything.
Yeah,
that's that key symptom that people need to do.
It's like I see so many people, especially females, to be honest, like, and it's like they're not really doing anything. They're doing BS exercises, and it's like I can just see, like, you're not burning calories like that. And
see, and that's another thing, right? I think, and it looks like to me that you have to focus more on what you're eating than your workouts. Because you can go do extreme workouts, and if you're eating garbage, that shit is not going to matter.
Right.
So that effort of learning food and gaining knowledge about nutrition, checking out a nutritionist or whatever, learning food, that should come first. And I didn't even think about that was supposed, like, when I first started losing weight years ago, and because I've gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, like, I've gained 30 pounds and lost it within the same year. Wow. Back and forth, year after year after year. So, I've gained 40 pounds and lost it in the same year from just eating and drinking alcohol, but it's all on. Hey, I knew that I got a certain diet. Well, I eat a certain way normally now. Like it's been the past 6 years, I've been eating the same way. Now, I'll only on extreme days of like, hey, I'm still gonna eat what I eat, but then I'm gonna add drinking into it. The weight is gonna go up regardless.
You just gotta kind of stay consistent. I
exactly.
guess, like.
So that certain way I eat always makes me manage to just make sure I lose weight. I can always lose weight just by eating the right thing, and then I'll work out maybe once or twice a week. Now, there was times when I was just working out, and I didn't change the way I eat, and I was like, damn, no progress. I've been working out for the past like 2 weeks, no progress. I mean, I'm getting stronger, but no weight loss. Nah, because my eating was bad.
Everybody's body is different. Yeah, so it's like,
So yeah, you got to figure out what you need to eat.
how it works for you.
Yeah, that eating part is very key. But who's gonna? A lot of people don't. Maybe a lot of people will one day make the change in their life, or if they're
If they have the motivation, but it's
Yeah.
like, where do you get motivation? You know, it's
like you know what's crazy? Like I visited a doctor the other day. She's a specialist, right? In nose, ears, and throats, right? And she was hesitating on telling me what my weight should be at, and I didn't realize till the next day. I was like, why was she hesitating to tell? Because I told her what my weight should be at for my height, right? And I told her, she says the weight, and then I'm like, yeah, nah, it should be this weight, which is even lower. And she's like, oh yeah, all right, so you know. And I'm like, yo, damn, wait, hold on, what is wrong? Like, yo, why you hesitating? And then I thought about it, and I was like, oh yeah, people do be trying to get doctors in trouble for actually giving them the facts.
Information.
Yeah, like what weight I'm supposed to be. This ain't something you should tiptoe around.
So what was the weight and the height that was ideal, if you want to say it?
So for my height, which is 5'7",
Right,
should be at around 160. She said 170. I was like, yeah, that is true. I should be around 170, right? Now, at the same time, I'm losing weight, right? So I was 240. Now I'm 200. And she's like, she sees I was losing weight, and she's like, oh, you're 200. All right. And how much what's your height? And she's like, all right. So I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to lose weight. So we'll see how the progress goes along, but hesitating on telling me that even though I've done the research and seen what my height and weight should be, and I'm like, yo, damn, now this is kind of affecting now.
So what's
my world?
What's my ideal?
Not my world.
At 5'10".
At 5'10",
I'm looking it up a little bit, but I'm not sure.
5'10", I believe you to be around 180.
Okay.
Wait. So 5'10" from 5'7", yeah, about 180. I think on the BMI chart.
Yeah, I was looking at it up.
But it's we'll get that right there, easy.
I was gonna shoot for 170, but I guess because it
ranges. It ranges. Yeah. So you should be around that 180. So 5'10", you got the healthy. Hold on, my bad. All right, that's so 5'10", the healthy is 149 to 183. You should be in that range right there. Okay. So I thought, yeah,
I'm a few pounds below the
yeah.
The low
so
range.
Get your weight up, B. Get your weight up, B. You need. We're gonna get this next burger after this.
I need more Neat Bucks.
Yeah.
Burger fun.
But the range for me is, she told me 170. I looked at the charts. The charts is telling me like it's saying 133 to like 163, which is Like, I'll look like a crackhead if I was like 163, I think. But, you know, who knows? I don't think I'll get down to that weight.
I look at pictures sometimes, you know, of people at certain heights and weights.
Yeah, but the structure for, you know, people have different type of body types.
I'm going to say white people.
Not specifically them. But you have the three different type of the metamorphs, the
endomorphs.
Endomorphs.
Okay,
yeah.
That's the thing.
So yeah, it's not always about specifically white and black, or different parts of Asia or different parts of South America. I want to include all the other different ethnicities we got out here, but yeah. So with mine, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot for like probably 170, the most, maybe 175.
So what's the
to actually do this?
What's the column on the left again?
This column?
Yeah.
This is females.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that was male side, that was female side, and
damn.
Yeah.
Looking at the female side, whoa, whew, somebody is not doing well.
Oh, you know somebody that's not doing well. I mean, hey, this is America, right?
Many people.
Yeah, we've seen the clips of being in the Walmart, and you know, it's a difficult life when you got you got, you know, a lot of southern states and people. You got people in shape everywhere, but you got a lot of southern states that the food just tastes better deep fried, and that deep fried is mad fattening, but it is delicious. And you know, I haven't gotten to eat so much deep fried food, but when I travel down there, I'm definitely gonna try some of that stuff because I know that it tastes great. But it is something you can't eat year round, and a lot of people's eating that year round, so it's difficult.
Kind of mind blowing, you know.
Yeah,
because like they would have you think this is not. So, you got to add like 50 plus pounds to that, and I'm still a 10 out of 10. Yeah,
yeah, that's for them. That's for them. But health wise, that's what I was looking for. Like, you know, if because there's no denying this part right here. Like, this part right here is either it's life or death, or you're on certain medications because you're weighing too much, you know, and those medications is going to keep you alive for the time being. But if you don't lose that weight and that medication is doing all it can do, and there's a certain point when medication is not going to work and you're going to have a hard time. And I don't know, some people is like, hey, there's no hope, but yeah, as long as you start and you start to work out, progression, I think everybody gotta work out regardless of who you are, and you will feel some sense of achievement, and you'll feel some type of happiness from working out. I think, because
I mean, it's chemical. It's
all yeah,
that should be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit is fucking up right now.
Damn.
Anyway, we'll end it on that note. We'll get you your burger. We'll see about that next podcast.
Yeah. Oh, of course now it works.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right. See you later.